Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. So, our discussion the other day was as follows. I was wondering why night streams were having higher attendance, but basically a lot of people complaining about the situation on them, and why I had a series of low support night streams. It was kind of confusing. And the feedback I got was very simple. The regulars don't want to be there for the night streams, because on the night streams, usually I'm playing a multiplayer game like the Modern Warfare 3 beta or Street Fighter 6, and as I'm playing, I can't focus on talking with the people in the chat. And when that happens, I lose focus, I can't look, that's when the trolls roll in. And they usually come in with new accounts, right? They usually come in with, these socks, so that no one really knows who they are, but all of a sudden they all talk to each other like they know each other. They're all constantly doing what's considered sneak disses, meaning they're not going to come into the chat and outright say nasty things, but they're going to say really insulting, dumb things that are just going to get everyone and rub them the wrong way. They try to start fights in the chat, and essentially they only do it when I'm not looking, because then when I'm done, all right, let's take a break, and I come back, of course, now they're silent, right? So people have been saying that over the last, couple of weeks, they've noticed this getting worse and worse. And a lot of regulars have said, we used to show up to attend and support your late night streams, and we're not going to do it anymore because there's just not enough control. And this actually kind of godsmacked me. And the reason I say that is, years ago, people always complained there was too much moderation. They said, Phil, your streams are too locked down. You have too many mods. They're too trigger happy. Everyone is constantly taking control of the stream and making it unfun. So I directly listened to that. That was about 2 years ago when I was getting that feedback. I directly listened to that feedback. And I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be way more lax on moderation. I'm going to tell my mods they don't have to be as crazy strict, And what's happened is the last few years, some of the moderators have slowly just kind of retired and didn't really say anything publicly, but they just kind of said, we're going to walk off and not become mods anymore, or not be mods anymore. And as you know, I talked about this. We had one or two idiots who were trolls, literally catfishing everyone. Which, think about how useful that was, because a lot came out of that, right? As you know, such horrible leaks and things have happened as a result of someone catfishing us as a moderator. So that was a really big use of time, wasn't it? But anyway, overall, over the last, I'd say year and a half, moderation has become very lax on my streams. I will openly admit it. That was honestly an active choice of mine, because I got so much feedback saying, Phil, when we're on your streams, it's like lockdown. We don't want that. We want to have a more casual environment and have everyone feel kind of, like they don't have to be walking on eggshells. Fine, let's change it. So now I changed it, and now here we are in a situation where I'm getting the opposite feedback. Phil, you're too lax. You don't have enough moderation. And now everything is too much about these trolls making a good old boys club and trying to make people feel, not welcome. And I'm like, are you kidding? So I was like, you can't win one way. You can't win the other way. So I guess it's a point where I have to find that moderation point, right? So I did have a conversation with my moderators over the last couple of days. Sadly, I hate to say it, I don't think that many of them or any of them are going to be able to really step up and moderate any more than they already are. A lot of these people are very busy. They come in and they help moderate when they can, and I'm very grateful for when they do show up, and that's very nice of them. But none of these people are paid employees. They're just fans like you and me. They come by when they can to moderate if they have time. But it's not a priority for them. I didn't hold anyone to that level of standard because you guys told me you didn't need moderation as much and you wanted things more lax, so I did what you said. Well, I've now gotten, of course, absolutely flooded with people who want to be moderators, all right? And when you get flooded, it's like, okay, so now what do you do, right? Because now he's like, now you go one way, who do you trust or whatever? What we're going to do is, and it's not going to be consistent. You're not going to see it every night. You're not, all right? But basically you're going to see maybe some more people, a handful of people who are going to be moderators, and they're not going to be here all the time. They're going to be coming in whenever they're available. So you may see it immediately. You may not see it for days. You may see it for 2 days in a row and then not for a week. It all depends. But again, I'm not holding people accountable. I'm not going to be, oh, you must be there to moderate. They're volunteers, right? They're not people who are paid employees who need to, get yelled at for not fucking being there. That's ridiculous. But I got a few people who I'm going to essentially become trial mods, and when they come in, if they can moderate, great. Particularly, you should see them probably on nighttime streams moving forward if they can make it. It won't be every night, but if you see them here, you know, abide by the rules. I've basically told them, here's what I told them. If you see someone who seems to be suspect, someone who's acting up or trying to basically, and the thing is, what I mean by that is, a lot of the people who are coming by to troll at night are not outright trolls. They're not coming in here and immediately saying awful things about me or my wife or the work or anything. They come in and they sneak this, right? So for example, I'll be here playing Street Fighter, and they'll literally every match say, oh, you played so poorly, you're horrible. Oh, wow, that guy is like a top-level player. He's absolutely dominated you. You can tell what they're here for. They're just here to create that negative environment around the stream to completely contradict anything I say on a stream, make me look like a fool, and discredit me, right? No one needs that. No one. There's already tons of that out there. There's people constantly restreaming me and shit. Go watch their streams. I urge you to go watch their streams. If that's your mentality, the only reason you're coming is to basically sit here and be toxic, then go to the toxic place. This is not the toxic place. Really, I don't mind. I mean this. I'll say this publicly. I don't mind if you go watch a restreamer if that's what you want to do. Go for it. Just leave my community alone. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. We're here to have fun together and be positive. We're not here to sit here and listen to your bullshit. Okay? So, that's the deal. We're going to have some moderators who are going to be coming in looking for that kind of stuff. And they're going to be taking care of that. All right? And what I've advised them is that if they're going to do something, just time someone out. Don't be banning people permanently, especially when we don't know if these are new accounts or sock accounts or someone who just genuinely doesn't know the rules, or, you know, just time the people out. So you're going to see likely more moderators over the next week or two. You're going to see a lot of people getting timed out for basically the same toxic behavior they've been doing for weeks and getting away with it. Well, now they're not going to get away with it anymore. Okay? We'll see how it goes. And if people feel that the improvement's good, great. If not, I'd like feedback. We might have to seek out some more people. You know, basically, I got flooded with people who wanted to do it. I'm like, well, I'm kind of apprehensive. Let me try to take some people who I recognize, who are regulars, who are, you know, people who I've seen over the years, and I know that I can trust them, and maybe just give them a temporary modship and see how it goes. And by the way, it may be very well may be that these people want to do it, and then after doing it for a couple nights, they're like, oh shit, I want to do this. Right? I don't want to do that. That's fine. You know? And then we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay? So, there you go. All right? And I'm going to do my best to not feed the trolls on those situations, because that's the thing. That's what they're doing it for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're coming to these late streams just to derail them to see if they can piss me off. If I'm already on a losing streak at Street Fighter, I go back to the stream and I see a bunch of idiots in there, you know, that could irk me and rub me the wrong way. And the best way to deal with these people is to not address it. If it needs to be moderated, just moderate it quietly and then just move on with my night and not give them the attention that they're so desperately seeking because they're losers in life and this is what they think they get their jollies from, you know? So there you go. So let's see how it goes and we'll go from there. All right, so that's the update on what happened the other day in our discussion, and moving forward, we'll see, you know, further on how things go. I've gotten tons of other suggestions for improvement and things, and I appreciate that, but I will say this. Some people are sending them direct to my email. That's a bad idea. There's a suggestions thread now for a reason. If you're not aware, we have a thread called the suggestions box. If you type !suggestion in the chat right now or during any live stream, the thread will come up where you can post up your suggestions. All right? And that's the way to go about it, because what we're going to do as a new practice is at the beginning of every new month coming up, for probably that whole first week, every day we're going to go through some of those suggestions from the suggestion box from over the course of the last month. We're going to address them. I'm going to tell you, hey, is this a good one? Is this one we can't do, and here's why? Or maybe this is something I could take as a suggestion for improvement in the future. Maybe I can't do it right now, but we can implement it somehow long term. You know, that's great, but I am noticing a lot of people are shooting me emails, and I'm like, well, I can read this now, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I can implement it right now. We can't talk about it right now, especially, I got like 2 or 3 during my day off. I'm like, I can't really do anything with this. It's my day off. I'm not even home. I can't, like, pay attention to this. And thing is, I'm probably not going to remember it, right? To be honest. That's what the suggestions box is for. So please post them up there. And moving forward, again, we will review those come November. That's one of the first things we're going to do first week in November. Okay? Thank you for that.
I got the drip going. I got the drip going. I got the drip going.
got the drip going. I got the drip going. I got the drip going. I got the drip going. It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.